Welcome to another episode 6 of 100 Songs. Now, if I had a black leather vest to wear for this episode, I would wear it as a shout out to Monster Magnet frontman Dave Windorf. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about a song by Monster Magnet called Spine of God. Spine of God came out in 1991. It's one of the very early releases. First really well-known release from the band, who has been still going at it and going strong now for a long time. So Spine of God came out in 1991, right alongside really a lot of music from the grunge scene. So it's pretty interesting, a time to kind of come about. There are more metal, hard rock, but with a lot of psychedelic influences, a lot of guitar buzz and drone. Makes you want to headbang, certainly. Very unapologetic and in your face. Really over the top, too, Monster Magnet. I would call them metal, stoner rock. Like I said, psychedelic a little bit, because I think some of that may come from, I don't know if this is a stereotype, but it may have come from Dave Windorf's upbringing in the 60s. He was born in the 50s, so, by the time he was a teenager and in his 20s, we're talking 60s and 70s influences. Power Trip is the album that really put them on the map. That came out in 1998, and it was their most commercially successful album, and I think that's where I picked up on Monster Magnet. I think it was right around that time is when I discovered them. Did the Space Lord song did a pretty strong run on MTV in that time, and anything that was played a lot on MTV in that time usually had a pretty decent commercial run associated with that. Since then, a lot of albums, a fairly prolific band, and still going strong all these years later. So Dave Windorf, like I said, the only original member. I think he is really makes the band, and the band's really about him, and I think he does a phenomenal job as the front man. And one thing I particularly appreciate, other than just the way Monster Magnet's songs and albums are, like I said, so over the top, sex, drugs, and rock and roll all the way. A lot of energy and passion behind him, and it is so over the top in its lyrics and even delivery. He's got a lot of and oh yeah, that sort of throughout his lyrics in many of his songs, and a lot of yelling. I really appreciate that kind of thing. I think it's fun, and the music's really a trip. So the growling and grunting and what have you is a nice touch, I think, that adds to it. A lot of great guitar, a lot of different band members over the years that have contributed to that. Dave plays guitar himself, so you get sort of his influence throughout all their albums, but you have various musicians adding to that too along the way. I think my favorite era of guitarist, lead guitar on these records is Ed Mendel. Probably because when I got into Monster Magnet, those early albums, not Spine of God, but I think after Spine of God for several albums, Ed Mendel was playing guitar. And I really liked that style of lead. It's just piercing and very crisp, and I'm just a big fan. I chose this song for this project because It was, I think, a band that took my appreciation of Monster Magnet to a new level. And this song in particular, being the lead song, is, I don't think it's considered one of the top on the record, but people that like this record, I think, like it kind of beginning to end. So it's really just anyone's pick as to their favorite song on here. I think their most well-known song, I think, would be Snake Dance, and Medicine, and Pill Shovel. Those are the most recognizable, I think, for people that have sort of dipped into Monster Magnet. For me, Spine of God being the lead track is my favorite on this album, and one of my favorites overall from Monster Magnet. So the song is longish. It's 8 minutes and change. It's got kind of a slow build. It has a little bit of everything I like about Monster Magnet in it. So let's take a listen to a little bit of it right now. So picked a section of that song there, past the midway point. You get a little flavor of the whole song. You have the guitar part that sort of takes you through into the faster chorus. You get tiny bit of lead in there, not a lot of lead guitar, but you get that kind of psychedelic feeling to it. You get some of his vocal, a lot of his vocals. You even get a yeah in there, which, like I said before, I really appreciate. It's got a lot going for it. So that's Spine of God, Monster Magnet. And for the next episode, we will consult the wheel. Let's bring that up and see what we have in store for us next episode. $50 million year trip, Downside Up, from a band named Caius. This is such a great song from such a great band. So we will cover that next time. Until then, have a great day and a great evening, wherever you are. Thanks.